Hey guys, okay, so Wrestlemania Backlash just went off the air. And, this opening match, Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes, I mean, come on, like I said before, WrestleMania. You can't go wrong with the two. It was an exciting match. A little surprised at the outcome. I really thought that Seth was going to go over, and they would have had the rubber match. And we saw the next pay per view would have been Hell in a Cell. So we'll probably get a third match, and it might be inside Hell in a Cell. So we'll see where it goes with that. But it was an exciting match. Ronda Rousey, Charlotte, like I said, there was no possible way they were going to make Ronda Rousey say I quit, unless, like I said in the preview episode, that they went the route of 1999 with Rock and Mankind, and Charlotte Flair was knocked out and couldn't say I quit. You had a recording, something like that. But as I mentioned, in that preview podcast, that it was Ronda who really needed the win, not Charlotte. So now you have it. Now they're saying, storyline wise, she has a broken arm or broken radius, whatever it was. So are we going to get another, are we going to get Flair Rousey 3? I don't know, because sometimes you think you are and then you're not. So, I'm pretty confident that we're going to get a Seth and Cody 3. The way you saw the AJ Edge match end, there's probably going to be another Edge and AJ match as well. But, now going forward for the SmackDown, Women's Championship picture, again, who is it real? You want to have some sort of realism to it, right? I mean, we know wrestling is staged and predetermined, all that kind of stuff. We all know that. But, you still want to put, an element of, realism in it. Like, okay, who is the person now that you put with Ronda that people are not going to roll their eyes and say, okay, obviously Ronda's going to win that one. There's no way. Like, you wouldn't put Liv Morgan. I know she's not on SmackDown, but just go with me. You wouldn't put Liv Morgan versus Ronda because it would destroy her. You wouldn't put, the new one, Aaliyah. You wouldn't put, maybe you'll put, I think it's Raquel. I think the new one who just came from NXT. Because she's tall and she is physically imposing, you could probably go that route. But again, is she the one who's going to be? No. But you can sort of say that's a better option than putting, like I said, somebody like a Liv Morgan there. Like, Natalia's not going to do it. The way they've booked Shayna Baszler, if, they left her the way that Heyman was booking her, when Heyman was, writing Raw, I would say, yeah, Shayna Baszler. But you have nobody right now. And like I said, that Raquel person, maybe that's the closest to the realism you could probably get to. But again, as I said in the preview, start building up Naomi, get her to be this killer heel, and then she will, it'll make it more realistic that, okay, this is what Naomi had to do to, be that person to beat Ronda, and then she could join the bloodline as a SmackDown Women's Champion. The Omos Bobby Lashley thing, again, it was what it was, what you expected to be. Not totally surprised by the outcome. The Madcap Moss, I had said in the preview with the Baron Corbin, or Happy Corbin, I could have cared less who won the match. I mean, listen, I think Madcap has a great look. He can certainly have a place in the future. But, I mean, I think they just didn't build that story well. So I could have cared less who won, and obviously we saw Madcap went over. The Edge and the AJ, there was some reports online that Rhea Ripley might be the next one to join Edge's stable. And at first, I couldn't tell. Obviously, they had the hood on. But, when the person was walking around and the person was getting in the ring, I kind of already knew it was Rhea, one, obviously because, the rumors were online, so you kind of figured that's what it was. But you could tell by the body figure that, it was a thin person, so it looked like it was a female physique. And, plus when, what's his name? Oh, the announcer who works with them, oh, God, Saxton, when he kept saying, I want to know who he is, the way he kept saying he, I'm like, okay, it's got to be a female. It's going to be a she, not a he. And then it was Rhea Ripley. And it's good for Rhea Ripley because, she has really lost her way. Obviously, it's not her fault, but she's lost her way ever since, she did the whole thing with, Charlotte Flair, at the WrestleMania a few years ago. And, she lost the, if I remember right, she lost the NXT title to her, and I believe she won the Raw Championship from her, and then just kept defeating Asuka, if I remember that correctly. And I don't know, it's like she just sort of floundered after that, There was like no real vision for her, no real path for her. So, this is going to give her something to do. I think being around Edge, I think that will help her. Does this lead to her now, building a storyline with Bianca Belair? Or because, is she just going to be there just to be there? Who's she gonna wrestle? Are we going to see mixed tag match? Are we going to see Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley versus AJ and Liv Morgan, since she has her issues with Liv Morgan? So, it'll be interesting to see, where it goes. I mean, I think it's a cool fit. I really do. And it'll be interesting to see where it goes with that. Trying to think of the other match that was there besides the main one, which I think that was it. So the main event obviously was very exciting. I thought it was a good match. Everybody shined in it. I was right that the Bloodline was going to go over, which we all knew. I just wasn't quite sure who was going to take the pin. It's funny, in the preview, I started to say Riddle, but I changed it to Randy Orton, only because, they're making a big deal about the 20 years, so maybe I would have given a little something extra if, one of the Usos got to pin him. Excuse me. But it's interesting to see where this is going to go. Is this storyline going to continue with RK Bro and the Usos, and will it then go to the point of actually unifying the titles? Excuse me. Clearly we're going to see, Drew and Roman continue. My guess is that's going to be the main event for Hell in a Cell. Would be Drew McIntyre versus Roman Reigns. Somewhere Shinsuke's going to be sprinkled in there, and I said it before after the WrestleMania. I still think somewhere down the road, you're going to get one more Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns match. And actually, I thought Hell in a Cell would have been better because I can see Brock coming back and saying, yes, you beat me at WrestleMania, but to really solidify yourself, you got to beat me in the one place, where I'm the most, dominant, even though his record doesn't speak to that. But you could say, face me Hell in a Cell. You beat me Hell in a Cell. You truly are the man. And I think they could build something out of that. But, it certainly does look like they're going the way of Drew McIntyre versus Roman Reigns. We're probably going to get the RK Bro to Usos. But again, are you going to put the titles on the line? Because does that match mean anything if the titles are not on the line? You know what I mean? So we'll see what goes there. Again, I was really surprised that they did not put the women's tag team championships on this premium event. Instead, they went with Madcap Moss. For all the hype that they're doing with Austin Theory with the United States Championship, I'm a little surprised they didn't have him on the show. But then, are there enough baby faces for Austin Theory to face on Raw? Right now he was doing the whole thing with Finn Balor. Now Finn Balor seems to be mixed in with AJ Styles. So along with, the intergender matches, or the mixed matches, you might get, an Edge and Damian Priest versus a Finn Balor and an AJ Styles. You can go that route as well. But who are the baby faces? It looks like Mustafa Ali was, gaining some steam there, and it looks like that they killed it, so he may be done. Lashley has his hands full. So, who would you put now to go against Austin Theory? And you can clearly see his push is, in full mode, that they're squarely behind him. They see him, obviously. And even I saw him as another John Cena. And again, it just goes to the fact that if this guy can keep out of trouble and not have any issues and stay squeaky clean, he could definitely get to the heights of being Cena. He could certainly be the face of the company. I could certainly see that. So, again, we'll see what happens with that. But all in all, I thought it wasn't a bad pay-per-view, premium live event. I thought it was a very exciting match. I thought you had a great opening and you had a great closing, and the stuff in the middle was so-so. Like I said, the Charlotte match and there was some exciting moments, but you knew the outcome. Like I said, the Omos and the Lashley stuff, But, now we start building towards SummerSlam. We start getting to building that excitement for SummerSlam, and what are you going to do? I know I said if RK Bro versus the Usos goes to Hell in a Cell, does that match mean more without it? Without the titles on the line? But I think you can make that match in a certain way where it sort of forces the issue, because we're going into June. SummerSlam's in August, so you would still have 2 more months. Can you build a story where it's like, okay, now we have to settle this, and now we're going to put the tag team titles on the line? To me, something like that should be saved for the big pay-per-view. And we all know the big pay-per-views are Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam. I mean, Survivor Series has lost its flair, but it's still Survivor Series. And, I think they try to make SummerSlam the WrestleMania of the summer, obviously. And I think you want to put your best, your best for the summer. And I think they should do that unification tag team match. I think they kicked the can down the road because A, they want to do it right. And B, it's again, the overexposure. If the Usos win, do you have the Usos appear on every Raw and every SmackDown? Do you have them appear on 2 Raws out of the month and everything else is on SmackDown? Same thing with Roman. You don't want to overexpose these guys to the point that you get sick of them. And the big word, the S word, it becomes stale. Then you don't see it anymore. So, I think they can try to formulate something, give themselves some more time to figure something out, and do it at SummerSlam. And then if they do it, and let's say the Usos win, then you got to figure out how do we get all these belts off these guys. And, same thing with Roman. Keep the belts on them. And then in the meantime, try to get that tag team, find that tag team who will, who it will mean something. If the Usos unify the tag team titles and, New Day beats them, does that really mean anything? Does the New Day really need that? No. Maybe it could be the Street Profits, although I kind of feel like you sort of destroyed their credibility some. If you want to turn Alpha Academy babyface and try to get the crowd behind them, okay, maybe. But who's the tag team? And the same thing with Roman. Who's the person that can dethrone him? Again, if you can get The Rock, face The Rock, and he beats The Rock, who is that person? And I've said it. We saw the advertisement during the event, Money in the Bank. I think that person can be Xavier Woods. The crowd loves him. He has certainly earned it. You have some history there with the King of the Ring about destroying his crown. That got cut short because he got hurt. But I think Xavier Woods is the guy who should win Money in the Bank next month, or I'm sorry, the month after, I think it's in July. Yes, because Hell in a Cell is next month. So in July, Xavier Woods gets Money in the Bank. That Friday after WrestleMania or that Monday after WrestleMania, wherever you want to have Roman Reigns appear, he brags that he beat The Rock, that he's untouchable. He's going to take some time off with the titles, and then Xavier Woods comes out, challenges him, and beats him. And then Roman can go away, or Roman can hang out for another month or whatever. But Xavier Woods, to me, that's the guy who can do it. Not Seth. I like Cody, but I don't think it's Cody's time. And I don't think... Cody has accomplished a lot in a different way. You know, it's not like saying... Like, let's say Undertaker still had his streak. If a Randy Orton beat him, does that mean anything? Because Randy didn't need it. It's the same thing we say with Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar didn't need to beat that because he didn't need that accolade. You know? So, does Cody need that accolade that he dethroned Roman Reigns? Does it hurt for him to have it? No. But I think the fact that he went away, reinvented himself, started another freaking company, you know, I just think, I just don't think Cody is the guy that needs it. I don't. I think he's really made and solidified his status in a different way, that he doesn't need to be the one to dethrone Roman Reigns. Again, it's not Seth. It's not Bobby. It's not Drew. Is Drew up there in the realm of a Seth or a Triple H, those kind of guys? No. Could he use that? Yeah, he could. But again, that's somebody who went away, who has said, I didn't want people to remember me being the idiot playing air guitar. And I think he has, again, solidified himself in a different way. These guys could do these, solidify themselves without having to win, all these championships. And I think Cody did it a different way. And I think Drew did it a different way, that if you could say, okay, he ended his 700 streak, I don't know. I think it would mean more for a guy like Xavier Woods. Hell, you could turn Austin Theory face, and Austin Theory could do it. If you built that story up right. I'm sure everybody's kind of rolling their eyes right now at the Austin Theory thing because he's a heel right now. But could you turn it around and make him that baby face? Yeah. And could he be the one to do it? Yeah. But I think Xavier Woods is your guy. I think Xavier Woods is the one who needs to do it. And I think the crowd would go freaking nuts if he does. So, all in all, not a bad, post WrestleMania event. Opening match was hot. Closing match was hot. In between you had some and some not too shabby. But, let's see what WWE sets up next for us. What are we going into Hell in a Cell? Like I said, I think the match for sure, at least for now, is Drew McIntyre versus Roman Reigns. I think you're going to get a Becky Lynch versus an Asuka. I think I think it's a question mark of who Bianca faces, if she's going to be on the card. I think it's a question mark who Charlotte is Ronda's going to face. You could get another Charlotte match. I don't know. I think you will get that RK Bro and Uso match next month. Will the titles be on the line? That's the question. And I think you're probably going to get either AJ Styles, Finn Balor versus Damian Priest and Edge, or you're going to get a Liv Morgan, Finn Balor, AJ Styles versus Edge, Damian Priest, and Rhea Ripley. I think that's one of those two scenarios I can certainly see. And I think you'll finally get that big blow off at SummerSlam, I think. I think you can probably find something else for them to do for Money in the Bank. But we'll see. Those are my thoughts. I think I am going to do a little something on AEW. You know, there's been some... There's a feeling, and at least to me, you know, if you listen to Eric Bischoff's podcast, 83 Weeks, I listen to it a lot. I like Eric Bischoff. I agree with him in the sense that AEW, he didn't use this word, but I'm using it, it's just sort of stuck in this loop. They're not growing their audience. And listen, I'm not an expert, you know, I'm just a fan. These are just my opinions. And I think because AEW, there's nothing... When I don't watch AEW religiously, but when I do watch it every now and then, it feels like I'm watching another WWE match. You know, yes, the matches are of better quality, you know, whereas, you know, you have a lot of throwaways on Raw, but like you saw Cody and Seth, good quality matches. But there's just still this feeling that we're not seeing what it is that's supposed to differentiate yourself from WWE. And I feel like you're just another wrestling company. You know, but, you know, I'll get into that a little bit deeper, you know, maybe I'll do one on that because, you know, I have a couple of thoughts on it. But anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. Hopefully you guys liked the podcast. Hopefully I didn't ramble too much. You know, again, leave your stuff in the comment. Tell me what you think. If you agree, you disagree. You know, just give me your feedback. So, not sure when the next episode's going to drop, but it won't be as long as it took for this one and the one before. All right, so take it easy, guys.